4 things to do as a young man when you're burnt out, depressed. And if I could just take a minute or two to clarify what I mean by burnt out, depressed, then hopefully that might help some of you understand where I'm coming from. In life, you will suffer. Suffering is an inevitable part of life. You'll rise and you'll fall. You'll rise again and you'll fall. And everything happens in a bit of a cycle. And it's our job, it's our duty to, amongst all that suffering, find a bit of balance. And hopefully once we found it, to maintain it. And after a while, you might even look at the whole process a little bit differently. You might take solace in the fact that you are being dutiful to your own self-care, being responsible for yourself and others around you, and manage in the long run. The depression that I want to talk about is when you've had a really bad experience, a really traumatic experience that just knocks you sideways, that knocks you for 6 and just burns you out. You know, this could be like a bad breakup, loss of a job, loss of a family member, a friend, a loved one. And it's in these moments that you're completely lost. Like, you knew life has been one way, and then it flips completely overnight and it's suddenly changed. And amongst all of that, you're like, wow, what do I do here? And I think when this happens to young men and men in general, there's not really an arm to sort of hold you around the shoulder and say, look, this is what you've got to do, bam, 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 bang. And if you've got someone like that, then fair enough, you're very lucky, very blessed. So count your blessings and stay blessed. I think for like women, when they go through like a bad experience, and this isn't to generalize, they'll have someone there, you know, they can initially cry, get it all out, talk to the right people. There's an answer, there's people around to help. But for men and young men, I think maybe it's a pride and ego thing. Like, you don't really want to reach out. You kind of know that if you reach out to the wrong people, then you don't want to feel like maybe like a burden. There's a whole host of reasons why we do what we do, and they make sense as well. I'm not even like trying to like cuss it. Like, they make sense why we do it. But look, I'm going to keep this simple and give you 4 things you can do when you've been knocked sideways, when you've been burnt out from a really traumatic experience, and hopefully they can apply to most situations. Point number 1 is talk. Talk to someone. Talk to a friend. Talk to a family member. Talk to a counsellor if need be. If you've got no one to talk to, I will just say make use of some services that are in your country. In the UK, you can reach out to Samaritans or Mind. I'll pop a couple of links below. So if you've definitely got no one to reach out to an organisation, and hopefully you can find the help you need. And just have someone listen to you initially. And that's the reason why we talk, to be heard, because after a really bad experience, you're going to want to talk, you're going to want to let it all out. There's all these thoughts in your head that you're just thinking, rah, how do I, like, what's going on? And by actually like speaking to people, you'll start to notice patterns that, hey, look, I said the same thing to that person, and then you'll understand the gusto of your, like, the main thrust behind all your feelings. Am I feeling particularly sad? I've mentioned this point so many times. What's the reason? Am I feeling sad? Well, I'm mentioning that. Is it because I'm angry? Like, am I resentful? Am I bitter? And you'll start to understand yourself a little bit better. One thing I will say is just be mindful of people's time when you are speaking to them. Just be conscious that everyone's gone through their own stuff, and they might not always be ready to hear you out. So don't feel too disheartened. Okay. And yeah, that's the main point. Just talk. Yeah, get it out. You're gonna wanna initially. So just get it all out there. Point number 2, and this might sound contradictory, is don't talk. Don't talk to anyone. And this might resonate with some of you guys. It's like, maybe you want to talk, yeah, and you want to say things to the right people, but then you're noticing around that some people haven't always got the ear to listen. Like, they might just say exactly what you want to hear in that moment, or they might just say something to shut you up so they can move on to their point, or because they have the promise of helping you, but then not really wanting to. And like in the initial phase after the traumatic experience that burns you out, you might talk and talk and talk and talk. After a while, you might get tired. Just take some time for yourself. Take a step back. People around you will get tired as well, but the people who want to hear you won't. But it'll be interesting to see when you don't speak exactly who's there. I remember when I was going through some stuff, a good friend of mine said, how many of them, as in the people that I was telling my stuff to, how many of them have called you to ask about your day, ask you how you're doing? That how many of them have actually picked up the phone first? And it was interesting because after that I stopped talking and I just observed what was going on, and I realized that a lot of people said the promise that they'll be there, but they weren't. And so it's important to, I think, take some time to yourself and not talk. And don't shut off completely. Like, maybe you can write a journal, maybe you can talk to yourself out loud just so the thoughts aren't in there. Maybe if you're spiritually inclined, if you're religious, you can talk to God. You never, like, I don't think you'll ever truly be alone in that sense. But the importance of this point is to just see and assess who's there for you and who's not. And you'll get better at this because you're not going to get knocked sideways once in life. This is why I said it doesn't just apply to young men, like men in general. Like, it's going to happen throughout your life. You're going to have some experiences, some certain things that are just going to be like waves, like, climbed over that one, I learned this many lessons, okay, I've got this one coming now, so what I'm meant to do. And each experience you'll learn, right, that's who was there to help, that's who wasn't, and you'll get better at deciphering that for future experiences. So it's a worthwhile thing doing. So talk initially. Have moments where you're not talking, where you're just observing and looking around you. It's a very important point. And that's point number 2, really. Point number 3 is to get yourself to the gym, to do some sort of physical activity. I would stress it to be gym, to work out, because look, it's that one thing that when you go and you're down bad, you might be very withdrawn. It's a social place, you'll see people there. If you've never been gym before, then I would suggest start somewhere. You'll get to make friends eventually. Like, just go there, do the exercises. I'll make a separate video about this, about getting to the gym and how to start. But definitely get down there. You'll feel so much more better. There's not a single gym session that I've come out of, apart from ones that I've just gone in and done some like absolute silliness and not really committed. There's not a single gym session that I've been to where I've come out and gone, oh, I can't believe I just done that. You feel good, you feel really good, and once you start seeing progress, and it's something that's measurable, you will start to have a better sense of self. So definitely get down there, get moving, and enjoy it. The 4th point is just to move in a direction. So when you get knocked sideways, when you're burnt out, you might not even be doing the basics right, like brushing your teeth, getting out of bed, socializing a little bit, being polite even to family, friends. If you can find out what it is for you, that if you could just get doing to move in a direction, is it better? Like if you've lost a job, maybe you haven't put out like a bunch of CVs out, but can you do one a day? It's better than none and feeling sorry for yourself, right? If you're not going for a run or going to the gym, could you do something? Could you at least walk? Could you at least start 5-10 minutes of an activity? Could you at least get yourself down to the gym and maybe stretch out a little bit, maybe try an exercise or two? And that's really the important point, because if you move, you'll find momentum. If you don't, you never will. I know that sounds a bit like straightforward, but it's one kind of thing that I always live by. Like when I was going through some really tough times, it was like, let me just move. I just want to move. I don't want to stay here. I don't want to submit to this mess. And if you're a guy that's on self-improvement, you'll understand that you don't really want to stay where you are. You don't want to submit to that feeling. I think society kind of pushes it on you to stay not weak, but always accept your weaknesses, and this is how I am, and I'm depressed for this reason, and blah blah blah. But really, at the end of the day, you don't want to stay there. You don't want to keep going through the motions. You want to be able to move in a direction. So whilst the focus is hard, whilst you're going through it and the seas are a bit rough and you don't know what to do, just do the things that are inevitably good for you. There's no harm in doing the things that are undeniably, undoubtedly good for you. That's one thing I try to live by. Like if there's something I know that's undoubtedly good for me, like waking up early, like it's good for you. Like I might not be doing it now, like when I say now, like I mean when you're going through all the hell and all the turmoil and all the rest of it, you might not be doing it, but you know that it's a thing that if you've done every day, it would have a compound effect and you would feel so much more better. Am I having a shower? Am I having a wash? Shave? That doesn't make me presentable, whatever it might be. Right? Am I working on the things that I can immediately work on? The simple things, clean your room, all of that. I'm sure we've heard it all. I haven't really specified here too much, but the point is that just move in a direction. I hope these points help. So the 4 points: talk to someone, get it all out there. Very important in the initial phase of going through a tough experience that really burn you out. Number 2 is don't talk to people. Have some alone time. Observe what's going on. Observe your thoughts. Observe your feelings towards people. See who's there, see who's not. It will make all the difference in the long run. Number 3, get yourself to the gym. Do some physical activity. Commit to doing some level of physical activity. You're going to feel so much more better when you start to see some progress. And with physical activity, I think it's the most measurable. You can go, right, even though I'm feeling like this and this, I done this today and I feel good because of it. I feel great because of it. And lastly is move. Move in a direction. Do a little bit of what you can. Do the things that are undoubtedly good for you. I hope this video helped, and if you could like and share it. I'm going to make a couple more videos in good time. It took me a bit of it took me longer to make this one than I would have liked. It's not perfect. I've set up a camera and it's not on the mirror image that I would like. I don't know where to look. These are all things that I'm hoping to learn on this YouTube journey of mine. I'm just starting out. I want to keep this channel for self-improvement, holistic self-improvement, and share some of my experiences in videos to come, experiences that hopefully some of you can learn from. And I want to learn as well, so do comment your ideas, your thoughts. I'm hoping that I can have some really wonderful conversations with people in due time. And one thing I do want to be is just as honest as possible on here when it comes to sharing things about myself and where I'm at. I'm not trying to be like some know-it-all, and I don't have all the answers. All I can do is say what my experiences were, say what my ideas are, and if you can learn something from it, then great. You know, I don't have, I don't want to sit on like some perch and be like, well, I'm some sort of like self-improvement guru. Let me say this and this. I don't even want to make generic videos. I don't want to do the whole, oh, this is going to be great for the algorithm kind of thing. I just want to talk and be able to have some people relate. So if this relates to you, yeah, like, share, subscribe, all the rest of that. I'm not going to try to like plug that little thing in every video. I can't see myself doing that. But yeah, look, just do the things that are undoubtedly good for you. That's always going to be great. And you're blessed, man. You're blessed. You're very blessed. So stay blessed. Big up.